What do you think we fear the most in this moment in time when everything is unstable? What do you fear the most? Fear that what you thought your life was going to be for the next 40 years might not be. What you thought was stability might not really be as stable as you thought. Is it the fear of having to step out before anybody else and say, hey, I'm done with this? I am going to be real. I'm going to discuss. I'm going to take ownership of my life, my family. I won't take. Do we know our value enough to know that the reason why everything around us is happening? I need you guys to hear me. The reason why, and it has always happened, is a cyclical, historical fact and reality of this earth, is that we, each one, carry a value that's intrinsic. And for many people, you were raised thinking that your value came from your title, what you were going to do, how much money you had, what neighborhood you're living in, what school your kids went to. But what if none of that, none of it mattered? What if the true value was you? Your ability to produce, your ability to think, your ability to act, your ability to love and be empathetic, your ability to be connected to your emotions, be innovative, and most of all, be connected to the Creator, the one who gave you life. So our value does not come from anybody who's here who tells you you made it, you didn't make it, you're successful, you're not, you're rich, you're not, whatever it is, it's not where your value comes from. But your value is what everybody wants, which is why you find yourself and we find ourselves that everything we're doing in life is to give to others and others, right? I consider it the output. You become the output of everything. Everything is external from you, and you just need to give, 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 and hope that you're chasing the right thing so that you can have a good reputation, so that you won't bother anybody in your circle, that you're not going to be the cause of any gossip, that you can continue to enjoy your entertainment and this free life. But what if that was not even what life was meant to be? What if that was somebody else's dream for you? So that you would spend minimal time investing, researching your own value. Nobody can take your value away from you except for you. When you start to recognize your value, then you know that your word stands. Because you said it, it comes from you. You believe it, you stand by it, your word has value. And that goes for anything that you do. It goes for anything you stand up for. But value is internal, not external. So if your belief systems are built on something outside of you, then somebody successfully was able to take that energy away from you. You are the source. We are so wired to think the opposite that I know that some people will find it difficult to believe, because once you find out who you are not playing to please this earth or whatever societal norms are, none of it. you can recognize that you have a purpose is greater than that, and it is to be true to yourself, authentic and real, and trust that that instinct, that inner voice, everything that pushes you to do what is right, to speak up, to act, even when others say no. That internal instinct of knowing when something is right or wrong. Only you can truly choose to see your value and stand by it without pleasing friends, family, children, spouses. It's individual. The journey is individual. And until you know your internal value, and until you understand the value that we hold collectively as the people, we will not be able to recognize what are the external threats that continue to affect our life and continue to require an output from us without ever giving back. We're never meant to work 30 years in a job, you guys. Never meant to have a 30-year mortgage, debt that's never ending. That is not life. Entertainment has been used as old as time to keep people distracted when their life was at their worst. They did it in Rome, and they did it ever since then. Keep people distracted and entertained. The angrier they are, the more you throw out there. Entertainment. So you need to find the source within you to understand where people have been attempting to guide your life, not for your benefit, but for theirs. This message is not for everybody. Some people will resist this information because they cannot see a life outside of what somebody else told them life was. And that's personal. For my experience in life, know for a fact that this is not life. That none of this that we do is required in order to live, breathe, enjoy, and be happy. I was raised as a missionary kid in Italy. We traveled from city to city every couple of weeks. We lived in tents and campers. Nobody talked about careers, universities, titles. We never met people and asked the first thing, what do you do for a living? I mean, that's crazy. Who does that? Because what you do for a living has never defined us. First of all, because we knew we weren't doing anything for a living. We were living, and because we were living, we chose a life. And I can't say I chose it, my parents chose it. I was born into it. But because I was born into it, and I knew no different when I moved here 15 years ago. And then I was told what life needed to be and how it needed to be and how I need to behave and what I need to do. Yeah, I didn't believe any of it. Because I already lived with nothing. So there's nobody here that can tell me what I need in order to live. So with that set aside, I have other more important things to deal with. For those raised in other countries, they understand what I'm saying. For those raised and born in America and England, in what our Western world is very difficult to see something different. Difficult to see that there's another way of living where you don't have to ask permission for everything. That was not a God given life, to ask for permission and to live in fear every time you turn around, like you have no free will or agency. And if you truly believe that you do not have free will and agency, I'm sorry. So I'm not saying anyone should do or needs to do anything. I just hope that you find your own value and that you understand that you're valuable no matter what, because your value is internal. And because you're valuable, you produce, create, innovate. It's not the other way around. It doesn't matter how much they tell you that being innovative or creative or understanding requires a degree of permission, an okay from somebody else. It is not true. The value comes from within, and then it's an output. But then on the output, are you controlling your output? Are you controlling where your energy is going? Are you controlling where your thoughts are going? Are you controlling your time? You in control of your family, your children, what you're teaching them, how you're preparing them for the life ahead. That is your legacy. Not money, not careers, not houses, not cars. It isn't. It's what you understand of yourself. It's what you understand about your Creator. It's about how you understand your freedom to live. It is for you to understand your internal value. It is for you to understand that nobody has the right to violate your existence. Well, I'm not here to preach, so I'm going to leave it at this. But we'll continue to have these conversations for those who want to listen, if we sparked your curiosity for anything at all. Because I'm not saying life is going to stop, but I'm just saying, where you putting your time and in your energy? Is it in creating self-knowledge, personal skills, keeping your family together, making sure that there is nothing external that can come and affect your own ability to survive, to exist, to live? Protect your children. Schools don't educate. They condition. They do not educate. Education is a capacity to learn and understand situations around you. Education should have taught self-agency, the ability to think for yourself. Not the ability to tell our children whether they can use the restroom or not, or whether they can drink, or when they have to sit down and stand up every single day. Beyond them going to school, the true education comes from the consciousness of the parents, where you invest your time, where you invest in what is important in life. It comes down to your base values. And if those values that you hold are real, then you would know how to protect what has been given to you, the responsibility that we have to protect those who are most vulnerable, to protect our own children, to protect our families, to protect our communities, to protect trade, to protect the most basic aspects of life. And I hope that you can stop believing that everything else created around you existed because you needed it. It only existed because somebody else needs you to buy into it, because they benefit from you agreeing to participate. So, question more. Question yourself. Question your reality. Question how many times you say yes to things you really don't want. How you stay quiet at times you know you need to speak up. How many times you see something is wrong and yet you just accept. I have no doubt that we have the capacity. Actually, I think that a human mind used as its full capacity has the ability to change any circumstance around us. But in order to do that, we have to be consciously connected to a reality and not to what has been created around us and offered to us on a gold platter as though that was the truth. Truths have been inverted. They're inverted, okay? Everything you think you know is a truth is most likely inverted. So be okay to question. Have a good night.